Hello and welcome. My name is Darren Burch and what a lovely surprise to have you all here. Now, I'm going to try and get this video done quickly because I've only got about 15 minutes to do this video. I'm not too sure how to do long videos, right, on YouTube. But anyway, oh, there's the lens over there. I was looking over there, but you're over there. Yes. Now, I just realised I just did an upload just recently of a video and I'm wearing the same shirt. So, no, I do not wear the same clothes every day. So, thank you very much. Now let me think. Okay, I'm a New Zealander, as you can see. Here's my hat, New Zealand. See? And I've been living in Istanbul now for almost 2 years. Now the reason why I've been able to do this is because I got my residence card, yes, and I got my visa extended. I'll put the description to the link below on where to start first. So when you do your visa, or when you apply for your visa, you must do it online. When you arrive from overseas to come to Turkey, right, and your visa is about to run out and you would like to stay longer, then this is what you can do. But you've got to do it at least 1 month before your visa runs out, okay? Don't leave it to the last minute. Right, so on the link that I'm going to give you, when you open it up, there will be 3 sections. There'll be short term, long term, and I'm not too sure what the other one is. So what you do is you go for long term, and you obviously, when you're in there, you fill everything out, but there's some crucial things that you've got to have. And one of them is you've got to have insurance. It could be life insurance, it could be medical insurance, it could be travel insurance, but it's got to have a policy number and you've got to have the name of the company that you're insured with and the paperwork, if you can get the paperwork of course, because they need a copy of that when you go to the immigration centre. Also you'll need some proof of ID like your passport. You'll need some biometric photos, which is your passport photos. And also, if you're going to be staying somewhere, like a hotel or with a friend or with family members, you must have proof of address, because when they send you your residence card, they'll need to send it to that address. So if you're somewhere else, you will not receive it, and they will not give it to anyone else, because they'll have to see you, your face, and you have to open the package, take the card out, and you have to show them your passport, and you have to sign for it. So when you're online and you're filling out all the details, at the very end it will ask you to make an appointment. If you're making your appointment like I am in Istanbul, I'm going to make my appointment closer to me. So I'm not going to make an appointment from someplace out of town. I don't want to be travelling. When you're online, you're going to make your appointment, right, to go to the immigration department. Make sure that you choose the right area, somewhere that's close to you. So you can do that by going on Google Map or typing in immigration centre of your area, of your town or city, and it will tell you the closest one, and then just relate it to the list of names that are there at the end of the application form. You'll see a list of names of immigration departments that you're related to. And also at the bottom there'll be a thing where you can print things out. You'll need to print out your application form. If you can't do this, try and save it on a USB stick or save it on your computer and try and download it at a stationery shop and get a printout of it. If you can't do that, if you've got no access to a printer, just get your camera and take a picture of it, like that, of the last page. It will be the date of your appointment, it'll be your name, and there's probably a number there, and it'll be a logo of the immigration department. So you've got to do that. And also you need to carry that on you. If you get stopped by a policeman and they're going to ask you where your immigration card is, you can show them this. You can say, look, I've got an appointment made at this date, right? And then they'll leave you alone. Or keep a print of it, fold it up and put it in your wallet. And also, if you make your appointment, say it was this month, July, but your appointment wasn't till 2 months away, or it was maybe September or December or whatever, and during that time your visa is going to run out, don't worry about it, because you've made an appointment, so you're entitled to stay here by law. It doesn't matter if your visa runs out. If you make an appointment with the immigration department to see them for an appointment, and if your visa runs out, it doesn't matter, you're allowed to stay here. until your appointment's been made. Now, on the day of your visa, when you go through the main entrance and you go to the main desk, you will give them your passport and they will sign you in. Once you've gone through, now I'm going to describe this to you as if I'm in Istanbul, because wherever you are in the country, in Turkey, it's going to be different, but the principle is going to be the same. As you go through, I went to the second floor and there was a queue there, and I took my documents that I printed out of my application form. It's got your photograph on it, Turkish flag, your number, and it's got all the information that you typed out when you did your application. You give that to them, and then they staple a number to your application form with a letter. It could be from A to G, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. Now there's one thing that I actually forgot to mention. If you can't print out your application form, and if you go to the immigration department, try and see someone, give them your picture on the phone of the date that your appointment is on, and your name, and it's probably got a number there, registration number there. They'll probably print one out for you while you're there. But best of luck. But I advise you to go and try and get one printed out, because it'll be a lot easier. And then they'll tell you what floor to go to, because that letter represents a door, and it could be on any level of the floor you need to go to. And it could be on ground floor, first floor. So anyway, you go to that floor and you find your door that you're meant to be going to, and then on the wall will be a screen, and on the screen will be numbers, and your number that they're giving you will be allocated on that screen. If it's not there, don't worry, because it will turn up, right? But if you have any doubts and you're not too sure, go and ask for some advice. Right? Don't assume. Always ask. Once you're called and your numbers come up and you go into the immigration department, you're going down and you sit down at the desk. The first thing you got to do is give them your passport, then give them your application form, right? And then they're going to probably ask you for your insurance, and then they're going to probably ask you for a few other things. But the one thing they're probably going to ask you is, why do you want to stay here in this country for a very long time? But you've got to come up with a good reason. You can't just go, not too sure, don't know why. No, you can't do that. They won't give it to you. You've got to have a good reason. It could be a reason like, I'm here to visit family, or I've got a sick relative, or I want to travel around Turkey and it's going to take me at least a year, or I'm going to get married. So you've got to come up with an honest excuse. Now, you can stay in Turkey for now for 2 years, which is a really good thing. But it all depends on how long your insurance is for, right? So if your insurance is only for 1 year, then you can only stay in Turkey for 1 year unless you renew it. If it's for 2 years, you can stay for 2 years. If it's for 3 years, you can only stay here for 2 years. Once they've gone through all that process, they're going to probably ask you to sign some things, but do not sign anything unless you read it. And if you're not too sure about what you're going to be signing, always get an interpreter to come and help you if you cannot understand. And once that's all done, they're going to ask you to go to the cashier. So you go down to the second floor, take all your paperwork with you that they're giving you, it's been stamped and signed. You go to the cashier and you pay. And once you're there and you pay for everything, it's probably going to cost you about $670 Turkish lira. So you go there and you pay for everything. And then they'll give you a white card, which is a receipt. And then they'll give you all your receipts back. Then you go back to the desk that you first went to, make another appointment. This is done on the same day. Go back to the same room, or you'll probably be given another room to go to. You take all your paperwork with you. And once you're in the room again, they'll probably ask you for your for other things like show us proof of address where you're staying. So you've got to give them this. Proof of address, okay, if you're staying with a friend or a hotel or whatever, that person needs to go to the Notary department and they have to give them your name and your passport details. And it's going to cost you about 47 Turkish lira. Once it's signed and you've got a witness that you are living at that address, they'll give you that document. And once you've got that document, you take that with you to the immigration department. That's what you're going to give them. Saying, this is where I live, right? This is proof that I live here, right? This person's saying that this is me and I live here and this is where I stay. So you give that to them. And you give them your biometric photos, and you give them... And another thing they might ask you is your income, because you've got to have at least 6,000 Turkish lira in your bank account to be able to be self-sufficient and be able to look after yourself without the means of anyone else or having to work, right? So if you can do that, they may not ask you for it, but it's always good to have it as a backup. So I'll come back to that and tell you all the things you need. Once they've processed it all, they'll give you a piece of white paper, like an A4 piece of paper, and it'll have your photograph, your passport photo, in the middle of it. And they'll probably staple your original or one of your photos to it. Now they'll give you all your paperwork back. You put everything back in your file, and then you ask them, where do I need to go? So, because you need to get that piece of paper stamped. But also make sure that that piece of paper that you get that's got your photo in the centre, this is for your residence card, right? Make sure that it's got a signature on there, because they will not stamp it if there's no signature on there, right? So I had to go to the second floor. So I went down to the second floor, I gave them my piece of paper with my biometric photo in there, and they stamped it, and it had a signature on it, but also I had to show them my passport. Once I'd done that, I was free to go. Now the card took about 14 to 16 days to arrive at the address. PTT turned up, the courier, and I had to open the package. They had to witness it, me opening it up to say, yep, I got it. They saw my passport, I signed it, and yeah, all done. Now, the things that you need, okay, when you go to the immigration department, right? First you need your application form, all filled out correctly, done properly. Also, you'll need your passport, which is valid. You've got to have at least 5 years or 2 years, whatever it is, but you've got to have it valid, right? To be able to stay here, wherever you are in Turkey for that time. You've got to have insurance. Your insurance will need to be 1 year, if you want to stay for 1 year, or 2 years. If you do not have insurance, I'll give you the details of that, because I got my insurance here in Turkey and they work with the immigration department and they were very cheap. It was like 400 Turkish lira, right? And it covers for my accident insurance and all that sort of stuff. You also will need proof of address where you're staying. So you'll need someone to go to the Notary and get them to sign on your behalf with your passport details and everything. And you'll need a copy of that. And maybe a bank details of your account and how much money that you've got, proof that you've got that sort of money in your account so you can look after yourself. So that's the main things you need. Now I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I missed out. Yes, there is. Make sure you take copies of everything, because they will take your original copies and they'll file it away. And if you don't have copies of that, then you'll have nothing, right? So you make sure you make triple copies of everything, right? And then if you're there and you forget, just ask them to make a copy for you, because they've got photocopiers there. And so I hope that all helped. And thank you very much. And if you come to Turkey, if you come to beautiful Turkey, all right, don't forget to look me up on YouTube and subscribe me. And if you like what you see, hit the notification bell there. And it's great to have you, right? So, and this is what the card looks like. Right, that's a residence card, and on the back it's got the date on it. And where's my insurance card? And that's your insurance card, right? They deal with the immigration department here, right? So thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys later. See you. Have a wonderful time.